Turkey has stated that it's no longer planning to purchase Russian-made Su-57 and Su-35 fighter aircraft. The country is looking to replace its aging fleet of F-16s, especially the older Block 30 models. The Su-57 and Su-35 fighters were initially thought to be strong contenders for the Turkish Air Force's key role in the future after it was ejected from the F-35 program for buying Russian S-400 air defense systems. Ankara has now expressed interest in the Eurofighter Typhoon fighter jets instead, according to Russian journalists who have knowledge of the topic. This will undoubtedly be very bad news for Moscow. While Ankara has been tight-lipped, there are clear pointers. In this video, Defense Updates analyzes why Turkey has rejected Russian Su-35 and Su-57. Let's get started. This video is sponsored by the free-to-play military vehicle combat game War Thunder. We talk a lot about military vehicles on this channel, but what about trying them out for yourself? In War Thunder, you can choose from more than 1,200 playable vehicles from the 1930s to the 1990s and go to battle on more than 80 theaters of war. You can fly aircraft, helicopters, drive tanks, and command ships of all types and sizes, which have been carefully recreated from their real-world counterparts. It's available as a free download on PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One with cross-platform support. So grab your friends and give it a try. All viewers of Defense Updates that register using the link in the description below will also get a free premium tank, aircraft, or ship and 3 days of premium account time as a bonus. The Sukhoi Su-35 is the top Russian air superiority fighter in service today and represents the pinnacle of fourth-generation jet fighter design. It'll remain so until Russia succeeds in bringing its fifth-generation Su-57 stealth fighter into serial production. Apart from being operational in the Russian Air Force, Su-35 has been exported to China and Egypt. While it was expected that Su-35 would be lapped up by foreign buyers, things haven't gone as expected. Egypt has backed out from the plan to acquire more after the initial order, whereas Indonesia and Algeria have rejected the jet outright after initial assessment. In May 2019, as Turkish participation in the F-35 program was in doubt due to Turkey's procurement of the S-400 missile system, CEO of Rostec, Sergei Chemezov, said that Russia was ready to cooperate with Turkey on the export and local production of the Su-57. On the 14th of September 2019, an Su-57 took part in the 2019 Technofest festival held in Istanbul. But the fighter is still not in serial production and may be combat-ready only by the end of this decade. The Su-35 fighter aircraft is equipped with Irbis-E, also known as Snow Leopard, which is a multi-mode, hybrid, passive electronically scanned array radar system developed by Tikhomariv NIIP, specifically from the N011M BARS radar system. A passive electronically scanned array, or PESA, such as Irbis-E, has some limitations. While a beam of radio waves can be electronically steered to point in different directions, all the antenna elements are connected to a single transmitter, hence can only emit a single beam of radio waves at a single frequency at a time. The AESA, on the other hand, can radiate multiple beams of radio waves at multiple frequencies simultaneously and brings back more valuable information to its user. They're also harder to jam. Also, most frontline Western fighters, F-35, F-22, Dassault Rafale, and Eurofighter Typhoon have AESA radar. While Su-57 is expected to feature AESA radar, its real-life capabilities are unclear since the jet is still not combat tested and it will be the first such radar from Russia. The Su-35 is relatively new, less than 10 years old, having been introduced into service only in 2014. It wasn't in service 14 years ago during the Georgia War, and it's expected that such a new frontline fighter would incorporate the learnings and be able to counter at least the Soviet-era air defense systems. But it's evident that it's not the case, as Su-35 has been taken out in Ukraine. It can be safely predicted that if the Russian fighter faces a modern Western SAM system designed from the ground up to counter Russian aircraft, the situation would be much more disastrous. The self-defense suite in Su-35, which includes the Kibini electronic countermeasure system, needs significant work. The West tends to invest heavily in sophisticated protection systems for its fighters. For example, the French Rafale features an integrated defensive aid system named Spectra, which protects the aircraft against airborne and ground threats. Various methods of detection, jamming, and decoying have been incorporated. It's to be noted that 30% of the cost of the entire aircraft has been devoted to radar and self-protection equipment. Su-57 is expected to do better since it will have Directional Infrared Countermeasures (DIRCM) for protection against IR missiles, as well as many other features, but to what extent it will be effective is a matter of debate given the poor track record. All countries, including Turkey, that have rejected the Su-35 on technical grounds must have also taken into consideration the impact of sanctions. Firstly, these countries may face trouble from CAATSA, or Countering America's Adversaries Through Sanctions Act, which is a United States federal law that imposed sanctions on Iran, North Korea, and Russia. Nations buying major military platforms from Russia could in turn face financial restrictions. Secondly, with new sanctions that were imposed after Russia invaded Ukraine, the ability of Russia to execute the orders has come under scrutiny. Many Russian platforms down in Ukraine have been found to be using Western microprocessors, commonly known as chips, which will no longer be available to them. As per reports, Ukrainian specialists found 8 microchips from U.S. manufacturers like Intel, Micrel, Micron Technology, and Atmel Corp. in its communication systems Barnaul-T Air Defense Command post vehicle. Coming to the Ka-52 Alligator, Russia's twin-seat all-weather attack helicopter, the Ukrainian experts found 22 U.S.-made chips and 1 Korean-made chip in its turreted electro-optical system. So it's evident that Russia is not fully self-sufficient, and sanctions could have a major impact on deliveries.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this. Hit the like button if you find the video interesting, and kindly provide your feedback in the comment section. This will help us improve.